Alright guys, time for another game theory video today. A lot of times I hear people for some reason talk about, oh, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was actually such a good game. It was ugly, but it was like such an actually amazing game. There was so much freedom to do whatever. And whenever I hear anyone say that, I'm like, there was freedom, but it was a fake freedom, okay? And I've talked about this before. The freedom in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is a fake freedom, and it was not well designed, right? And so I'm going to get into discussing that, and I'm going to demonstrate it by using this little pirate map here. Pirate map, treasure map, or we can call it a butt pirate map because I think the word butt pirate is funny, okay? And of course, forward before I get into this, even though that was a forward, I'm not good at Marvel games. I suck. It's not like some other video games where I win tournaments at, right? This is just purely, I think, a logical game theory discussion, right? Okay. I just make combo videos for this kind of games because I'm bored sometimes. Anyway, so the freedom in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, right? You could like switch your dude whenever you wanted to, right? Like that is pretty cool, right? You can switch your dude whenever you want to, right? You know what I mean? In and out of shit, right? But let's remember one of the basic rules that this game follows. For our little butt pirate map right here, our treasure map, you basically had around 50,000 damage, or let's just say half-life that you could get, right? I don't remember if it went into the thousands, where the fuck the number said in that game, but generally speaking, it's about half-life, right? This is the butthole the butt pirate is trying to get into, or the treasure that the treasure dude is trying to get. Okay, so it's about half-life, and then once you got to half-life, you kind of started, you basically reached the point of no return, and the next hit, basically any excuse you gave the dude would want to attack, right? So you'd want to get to around half-life and then super, right? That's the basic idea. Now, one of the cool things in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, right, was that you could OTG with everybody no matter what. You could do this wall bounce with everybody no matter what, and you could do this sliding OTG no matter what, right? So on one hand, you think like, oh, my character has a wall bounce too now, right? You're like, oh, my character can off the ground here now too, right? Oh, my character has a sliding thing that they can do. It's like, oh, wow. And I can mix this however I want, right? Like, oh, that is pretty neat, right? So then you even start thinking about it deeper. And you're like, oh, wait a second. So technically, if the player is, again, quotation marks good, it's like, oh, they can convert off any random hit because your character always has an option that leads to one of these, let's call them three gimmicks for the time being. Like, oh, no matter where I am, like, oh, a random air hit, I can do, maybe my character has a move when they're there, it does the sliding knockdown. Then I can hit the guy from the sliding knockdown and then go into my big combo, and I still have these two other gimmicks left, right? You're like, oh, wow, so it's like you can convert any random hit. You can actually be skillful. But the thing is, again, no matter what you did, there's only one butthole. There's only one treasure here, right? So you've been given, where am I on the piece of paper? You've been given these three tools, right? These three tools, that's called 1, 2, 3, to reach this black hole of pleasure. I'm actually not really into that, okay? But sometimes when you're horny, you do whatever you want. Sometimes, right? Sometimes when you're in the mood, you do things normally you're not into, right? Maybe she's really good looking, but anyway. So you're given these three tools to reach the treasure, right? But here's the problem. You always only need, if you even only need it. I mean, remember when I did those, I showed those off, those air juggle loops with Ryu. It's just like, oh, I was doing these air juggle loops. Like, let's say, hey, what if you don't even need the fucking tool? Maybe you're Clayton Chapman, right? And you're like, well, I can reach the treasure just by walking right here, dude. Remember I was doing those air, I was like, oh man, maybe I can do all these air juggle loops with Ryu, and then I'll save it all the way to the half point. And since I've never used any of these three gimmicks, then I can use these three gimmicks to try to get past this 50% into, is it that way or that way? I don't remember. Whatever the percent symbol is, right? Then maybe I can get past it. Nope. Liam's like, no, dude, you're at 50%. That's as far as you can go. It's like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, well, what if I walk for a little bit? So here I am walking. Then I use number 1. Then I walk for a little bit more. Then I use number 2, and like, no, fuck, you're already at 50%, dude. You're done. You're like, fuck, okay. And I'm like, well, okay, well, time out. Maybe if I use, I'll start with a number. Oh, it's like, oh, I did an awesome conversion off number 3, and then I went to number 1, and then I'm gonna go to nope, you're at 50%. The game's like, you're done. You're like, okay, well, wait a second. Let me go to, I'm gonna use 1 right away, then 2 right away, then 3 right away. Then I'm gonna go, nope, you're at 50%. And you're like, well, fuck, dude. And it's like, well, fuck, man. Well, what am I doing wrong here? And that's like me here. It's like, hey, dude, there's this awesome 50% here, but you can do all these things and you can mix them up, and you're totally free to do whatever you want to do. Which tool do you want to use? And it's like, well, technically in this situation, I can just walk straight there. It's like, no, dude, use one of these tools. It's like, okay, well, I'll use number 2, but I don't need to use anything else. I can just go here. It's like, no, dude, go this way, then this way, then this way, then this way, then get to. It's like, yeah, I could just walk straight there. It's like, yeah, you could do that, but it's like, no, dude, I could just walk right there. And it's like, well, fuck, dude. And it's like, that's kind of all this freedom is kind of fake. It's like, hey, dude, here's a laser gun. Here's all this kind of shit. Here's all this. It's like, well, I could just walk straight there. Now let's look at another problem with this so-called freedom, right? Let's see if I can get these dudes into thing. We got Buff Dude. He's huge, man. He's got some Super Saiyan Ornum. And we got Little Ninja Dude, right? So it's like, oh, I can switch my dudes whenever I want. So I'm using Buff Dude 1 right here, and then I'm going to switch my combo into this dude. And it's like, you could just walk straight there. And it's like, oh. And it's like, but wait a second. It's like, what if I told you Buff Dude, who is very slow, who doesn't have the same good move set as Little Ninja Dude. Let's make that a ninja sword. This Little Ninja Dude. Wait, that's not a ninja sword. Get your man. It looks like it's a lightsaber. Whatever. We got a Little Ninja Dude with a lightsaber here, who's fast, has better moves, better options all around. He still gets the same damage as Buff Dude. And it's like, oh, well, I guess I could just use this dude. Not only do I not ever have to switch out of this dude, who has better options, who has like covers the fields with all these different kind of things, I could just, I could just go right there. I don't have to use Buff Dude. I don't have to go like, hey, man, do you want to walk half the mile here and I'll walk out the other half mile to 50% because it's going to be, it's like, well, technically, dude, I could just walk right there. I don't need your help. Yeah, but share, dude, I could just walk straight there. I'm just going to use you if I even need you, because maybe you fill the screen with something, but otherwise you're using. So even though maybe there's this idea, of course, oh, you can switch in when this guy's shooting a fireball, he's doing this shit, whatever. On some level, like, oh, this dude hit this random hit here. In a lot of situations in the game, in many situations in the game, it doesn't matter because, like, I could just walk here. This freedom is fake because it's not needed, and it's a fake freedom. That is one of the most biggest, if not, well, again, I'm not saying I'm good at the game, but that is just such a huge design flaw, and not enough people talk about that. Your freedom is fake. It was fake. It's like, hey, dude, here's this thing, whatever. You can do whatever you want, but you're actually stuck in here. And it's like, oh, shit. Here's like, I'm in this case, like, oh, you can run wherever you want, little gerbil. You can run wherever you want, little butt pirate, muscle butt pirate. That sounds like a fake name I should use. Muscle butt pirate. Hashtag muscle butt pirate. Anyway. Or you could do Ninja Dude, right? Ninja Dude, you can run wherever you want in this little hamster circle. Oh, thanks, dude. Can I run out of here? No, we're giving you, this is where you're running. It's like, oh, dude, fuck. Anyway. So again, Marvel vs. Capcom, yeah, it's cool in one way because like, oh, technically if you're skillful, you can convert off any hit into anything and always get the most life you can get. But instead of being, say, oh man, say like, I think Guilty Gear is the game that does, random hits very well. Like, oh man, sometimes you see a conversion off of Guilty Gear, you're like, wow, they really converted that well, right? You know what I mean? They knew where they were. Maybe they get so many hits before the tech buffer, and Guilty Gear plays with weights and everything of the character while you're hitting. Like, wow, to convert off that with that so many hits, blah blah blah, that was good. And Marvel vs. Capcom could have been something potentially like, oh man, because you get this move off of this, blah blah. But it's like, oh well, I don't really need it, and I always get to the same place no matter where I am. Do you get what I'm saying? And this freedom was fake. I mean, that's why I never even made those tag videos, because like, oh fuck, what do I do? It's like a fake freedom, right? Speaking of Marvel's Capcom Infinite, I know I did actually have one other video that I never uploaded. I think I smidged out like another 10 points of damage with Ryu for his max damage combo, because basically the whole idea of the game was like, how can I get as close to 50% or at 50% while just getting like a few points more damage and then into my super, right? So it's like, I'm like pulling hairs here, right? You know what I mean? But yeah, Marvel's Capcom Infinite, that's it was a fake freedom, and I don't think people get that when they talk about like what an amazing freedom was. It was a fake freedom, and that's one of the bad design flaws of the game because of that 50%. Let's not even get to some of the characters. Again, the game was ugly. First of all, I was really disappointed how they did Mega Man X. Mega Man X, wow, I was so disappointed. Wait for Mega Man X and you get that stupid Mega Man X. And fucking Ryu, why the fuck was Ryu so fucking stupid and boring in that game? Little piddly-ass laser beam. What a piddly-ass laser beam, dude. And they took away so many of those combos I did in the other game. I was very disappointed by that. But anyway, and I think there's also a theory you could say that the fact that you could also say, on one hand, I think there's a perspective of letting every character to be able to get something off of something actually makes the game more generic in the first place. You know what I mean? I think there's an argument for that too, right? So anyway, little game theory discussion at the end.